I put that there on purpose because that's what we are drinking at the moment in our coffee. So, okay, really good question from
It's
from
good,
a guy.
by the way, too.
He wanted to know. My brain stuck. When you had to stop your tour, fly back to the United States to, and was it had anything to do with Hendrix's?
It had nothing to do with Jimi Hendrix dying or anything like that. We had to fly back to do the piano coda for the for the album, and that didn't quite pan out like everybody thought, because Layla was at the end of the reel, and we came in with a fresh reel, and so the ending and the beginning of a fresh reel was two different speeds, so it made the whole thing kind of out of key. But aside from that, that's when we did Thorntree in the Garden.
Well, it was good to have Dwayne playing out of tune then, because it just sort of matched the recording of Layla.
Yeah, maybe he was looking. Maybe he was searching in there. Because that's what it sounds like.
Because it was very difficult for Tom Dowd to get that thing put together.
It was, yeah. He had to do some of his, whatever that magic was that he had to get it consistent to where, because people asked all the time, what key is that thing in? What key is it in,
Well, here's the thing, because it was speeding up at the end, because it was the
because the tape.
So what he did was he probably took it off and put it on another reel.
Yeah, and it started the thing and it was too late.
What was that like to stop in the middle of a tour, fly back to Miami, and do this? What was that like?
It was all right to do. It was easy. I mean, because we were already on the move. So everything was about the music and what we were either writing it, recording it, or playing it, or all three. And so it was about that whole thing and putting that record together. And Jim worked it out with Eric's manager, Robert Stigwood, to have the piano part. I was against it, and so much that, and I raised so much hell about it that they didn't put it on the 45. It was only on the album. I'm glad it happened, but I'm glad of the piano part, because it really does. It sets the whole thing up for Thorntree in the Garden.
Right, as you have mentioned before.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was that everybody keeps making this, noise about Eric swiping that. He didn't. It was Jim Gordon went behind his back, and this is why they had the big falling out.
Yeah,
he went behind his back to get this thing.
And then Jim Gordon had almost a knockdown drag out in the living room at Eric's house about this dadgum coda, and Eric left the room. He said, "I don't know part of all this," and me and Jim was having it out.
Right.
But I was against it. I said, well, what are we going to do? You're going to get up and come over and play piano, and I'm going to go over and play drums, How are we going to work this one out live? And I was being like, I was less than cooperative, but the show must go on. And so did I, and I just flat out did not want it.
Okay, well, let me ask you, so who's playing what on the coda? Are Jim's playing in the very get-go? Explain that.
Jim's playing piano and drums. Carl Radel.
No, I know, but who's playing the piano part?
Jim is played the original part,
right?
The foundation of it, and it has no feel. At the start of it, it goes da 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 dee da da da. Has no feel. And Tom had me come back and do what's called support piano. It's like number 14 or number 19 on the track list on the box. Had me play piano over the top. And you can hear where my piano comes in, because it's like the second round or third round of the song. I come in and I've got a feel.
Right.
You can hear it. You can hear the thing. It just kind of takes off like.
When you were doing this, were you resisting it the whole way, or were you being more?
No, I was trying to get it right, because they wanted me to initially sit down and play it. And I just couldn't get it. It just didn't, it wasn't natural for me, you know?
Right.
But when I let go and just did the feel part, you know, Jim did it, and then he had me come back and put my piano on the top to give it some feel.
Right.
That's bottom line. That's all it was to it, you know. And it's not that difficult of a song.
So you came back just to do that one thing. Was everybody all happy about it and then wrapped it
Yeah,
up?
I was pretty much glad to get it over with because we were looking forward to getting back on the road. Right. And a guy brought some guitars, an orange guitar and a couple of Martins and something else. And Eric bought that orange guitar and he bought my Martin and handed it to me. And we went in and did Thorntree in the Garden.
Oh, so you had another purpose. You had to do Thorntree.
No, we didn't even know it until no, we didn't even have a clue about what we were going to do Thorntree. Tom said, after we got through with Layla, he said, there's room on this thing for one more song.
Wow.
And Eric said, hey, Bobby, why don't you do Thorntree?
And you weren't expecting that at all.
No, and he bought the guitars and everything that we used.
What did you think when he said that?
Great. It was perfect because it was from the crescendo of this incredibly dynamic album, you know. All the music is just soaring and it's painful and it's joyous and it's soothing and all these things. Mm. And then out of the war of Layla and the guitars and all the business going over and soaring stuff, all of a sudden it comes down to this wonderful, tender moment that's totally acoustic and it closes the whole epic, the whole thing. It closes it.
I just think it's really amazing that he would have asked you to do that. I mean, so many artists would never have done that. We wouldn't have given up part of themselves to let someone shine.
Well, it's not like I sat around and played Thorntree in the Garden either. I mean, no. he maybe heard it one time or something.
I'm saying it's really amazing and fantastic.
And he just pulled it out of the air. I'm glad he did.
That's awesome.
What a beautiful experience. And it's Tom Dowd. People don't believe it, but there's some people who really don't. We use one microphone for it, and I'm sitting right here on a stool. Eric's sitting right there. Jim Gordon's standing right there playing a little bell, and then Eric's here, and then Dwayne is right there, and Carl's right there, and his bass amp's in the other side of the room, and we did it acoustic. And we did 2 takes. First time, Tom stopped it and said, "Come here, fellas. Let me come in here, fellas." That was the only time he came in the studio, and he took the microphone and moved it about like that, just about an inch. He just moved it and turned it a little bit.
Well, let me just say this: so you're recording, and everything was all set up
perfect stereo.
Everything was set up prior to you sitting down and doing that. Was it a chance that you had overhead mics already set up too that could have?
No, he had the one microphone hanging down.
There were no other mics hanging around.
No, it wasn't one mic. He did it with one mic. Perfect stereo recording.
Right.
Because the way exactly where we all sat, you know.
Right, right.
We didn't have mics on the guitars or the bell or anything like that.
No, I'm just talking about overhead mics from the room mics or anything like that.
No, one mic.
Right.
It was sitting right in the middle of us. It was naked. It was bare. You know?
There was also apparently a story about Eric was going back to the United States to attend the funeral of Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, a load of rubbish.
Not true.
Yeah, you know. People like to talk about stupid stuff just to hear themselves
sometimes
and sound real important, like they're Jimi Hendrix was the last thing on our mind at the time because he was dead. So, you know, we were busy.
Happens often, right? Well, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving some more information. And
not milk.
Not milk is excellent.
No, a cow was assaulted. I used to do that when I was young, milk cows in the morning. I don't know why they had to get up at 4 o'clock to go milk a damn cow. Cow don't know what time it is.
Because the people get their milk early in the morning.
That's the whole deal. It's long
It's
and cold.
got to be fresh, just like bread, honey.
Yeah, it was too. Yeah, it made butter and everything. I
Thank
know how to
you.
do all that. Unfortunately.
You can make me some. Thank you.